When Dad entered a tiny corner of the world in 1935, little did anyone know there would be tears all over the United States when he died on April 21st. It had nothing to do with fame and fortune, and everything to do with how interested he was in others. When you met Dad, he would ask about you and your life. You knew you wanted to see him again, and as often as possible. His radiant smile was a welcome sight, and his soft-spoken demeanor was calming. His sense of humor and joke-telling was timely, as were the Oli talks some of you may have experienced. These were private, serious lectures with many life lessons, often lasting 45 minutes. Talks we all tried to avoid. Dad left this world as he lived, selflessly. During his last week at home, we jumped up to check on him more often than he beckoned. He was ready to go to heaven and looked forward to having Mom take his hand at his welcome home party. He said, "I have missed her for 23 years. His last soft-spoken plea of Jim, "Can I make a request? Can we gather as a family and ask God to take me to heaven quickly? Do you think everyone will understand?" Your wish, Dad, is our command. How blessed we have been to be raised in this community surrounded by all of you. I am overcome with gratitude as I look at all of you who are a part of Dad's and our lives. We've had Dad on a pedestal since we were tiny, when he would wake us gently with a warm washcloth to get us up for school. He was an ever-present husband and dad. His greatest joy came in making sure all of our needs were met. Along with Mom, he created a beautiful home we felt safe in, be it 4th or Hamburg Street, Anaconda or Tucson. Dad courageously set us straight when we fell off the narrow path, holding us accountable to his high expectations of us living our lives according to faith-aligned principles and values rather than circumstances and what felt good for the moment. The old "but everyone gets to go" didn't work on him. If he felt we shouldn't be going, no amount of pleading or crying changed his mind. If we didn't meet curfew, while Mom would ground us unreasonably, Dad's words about integrity and trust, and where did ours go, were enough to cause us to think about whether or not we would do it the next time. Dad was skilled at playing the movie forward and seeing the consequences long before they happened. He'd find the best route, the best ending to life's movie, and then act accordingly. Dad made friends wherever he went and could talk to anybody, anywhere. One summer, Dad, my brother Jim, and his son Mitch made a visit to my castle, and Dad came in just shaking his head. "Can you please explain to your nephew the importance of face-to-face conversations with people?" Mitch explained that they had stopped to fuel up, and Jim, who's a knockoff of Dad, actually visited with another guy pumping gas. Mitch asked his dad, "Why didn't you just give him the security code to our garage? You told him everything else." Dad wanted us to be interested in others, and Mitch didn't hear the end of that lesson until the weekend was over. I know that Mitch got it because his room is filled with actual photos of people who were important to him. Dad made a difference for generations. It was as though he knew his earthly life was ending. Dad orchestrated his journey to heaven as perfectly as he orchestrated his life, with plans A through Z in place. Last summer's grand tour led him to everyone he loved, including his 5 living siblings, all of them here with us today. He was determined to resolve anything unresolved before he headed down south again. When he made the decision to forego dialysis, he led us through his final plans. Take me home, listen to my last advice, stay strong, find joy in every day, learn something new today. He was ready. Dad spent nearly 40 years as a master craftsman creating masterpieces for people in our community. He had a toolbox most of us would envy, hammers, screwdrivers, and thingamajiggers, but his best tools were those he carried inside himself. Patience, follow-through, kindness, organization, wisdom, self-discipline, grace, forgiveness, generosity, and consistent, purposeful, unrelenting life-on-life encouragement.
He could build anything, but his greatest works of art were the people he built. In some way, he renovated you.
Dad took us through all the seasons of life. In life's winter, when life looked gloomy, he protected us from light winds to the stormy gales we encountered and sometimes created. When spring peeked out from long dark days, it was time to make hay while the sun shines. Dad's hay? Making someone else's life better. When we were little, Dad got up every morning to care for an elderly man upstairs. Dad worked all day, came home and took over on these girls, and after he got us to bed, cared for the man in the evening. He tended to all the people in the neighborhood, and even through his hospital stay, he was dispensing life-enhancing advice to his nurses and caregivers after he had learned their life stories. In life's summer, Dad taught us many lessons through gardening, be it flowers, vegetables, or life. He had that magic touch. Plant, care for, fertilize, water, wait, have patience, prune back, wait some more. Be grateful for the harvest, share, even a small crop. Make changes if the harvest wasn't what you expected. Plant again next year with new hope. As we cycle into autumn, the leaves of life turn and the last of Dad's bounty is gathered. Just as the fields slow down and quiet themselves, we embrace fall's changes, knowing who supplies all things when the blooming season comes to an end. God takes care of all of our needs. Clearly, as Dad mastered the skill of building structures that protected others, a refuge they could dwell in, Dad taught us to turn to the unshakable, steady, and strong shelter of our Savior. When the hurricanes of life affected all we had built, Dad demonstrated how to stand tall, dust yourself off, and start building again. He was a phone call away, a jump in the car and race to us kind of guy, helping us to move forward with a restorative plan. He reminded us that trials and losses are not without purpose. They are character building, lessons to keep, stepping stones to a better you. It may not feel like it now, but we will survive this loss. We fixate on the fear. How will we ever live without him? We have a God we can lean on. We have all of you who carry a part of Dad inside you. We, as his children, can rejoice knowing that 52, 56, 57, and 58 years spent being loved and cherished by our Dad was one of the greatest gifts from God we could receive. All of Dad's gifts will live on in us. We cry because he's gone from this earth, but we'll rejoice because God crossed our paths with his. He gave us more than we ever thought possible. That is our God, and his gifts are infinite. I asked Dad last summer if we could have his funeral while he was still alive and he could do the eulogy. He said, "Oh, it would just be you and me." Wouldn't he be surprised? I believe he would say to you what he said in a card he wrote to me. As you go through life, pick some flowers. Appreciate the beauty in our world. Be honest with people and enjoy the good in them. Don't be afraid to show your emotions. Laughing and crying make you feel better. Love your friends and family with your entire being. They are the most important part of your life. Feel the calmness on a quiet sunny day and plan what you want to accomplish in life. Find a rainbow and live your world of dreams. When you think of someone, tell them. When you love them, let them know. Thank you for being here to celebrate Dad's life with us.
I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne.